Hello, welcome to my house and welcome to my channel. I'm Laura Cepeda and today I'm going to show you how you can make a beautiful stitch that you can use either with fine material or with chunky material. Imagine this stitch with chunky material. It will look so amazing. It is so easy and simple. You will see I call this stitch little pins, but I'm sure it has a technique name, but I'm not sure which is it. So let's go little pins, okay? Well, so before we start, don't forget to subscribe. Well, in this occasion for this sample, I'm going to use this Happy Baby yarn. It's a fine material, it's very soft, and it's especially to make breaks for babies. So I'm going to use it in this plain color. With my hook, I'm going to use the hook of number 4 or 3.5.
Remember that if you want to buy and use the same materials that I use in all my videos, you can visit my online store www.lauracepeda.es.
Well, it's important to know that to make this stitch, you need to have even numbers, okay? In this case, I'm going to make a sample of 24 stitches. So with my hook and with a thread, I'm going to make 24 chains.
8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Gracias por acompañarme a contar.
24 and 25. We are going to make one more to start. I mostly use this stitch for a blanket, so you can make a blanket too if you want. Well, we are going to insert our hook in the second chain without a yarn over. Right away, we are going to take one, and every time we insert our hook, we are going to yarn over, okay? As you could count, we have 4 threads here, 4 loops, so we are going to bring them through, and we are going to close, making a chain. Again, we are going to skip one stitch and then we are going to insert our hook right away without yarn over, without taking the yarn, okay? We are going to insert our hook right away in this stitch. Insert your hook then. We are going to take one, now yarn over, insert your hook. And now we have the 4 loops in our hook. We are going to bring them through. We are going to make a chain to close. Then we are going to skip and we are going to repeat. Remember that it's very important that before we insert our hook right away in the next stitch, we are going to insert without taking a loop, without turning over. And then the next 3, we are going to turn over once, we are going to insert our hook and we are going to bring them through until we have 4 loops in the hook and then we make a chain. I'm going to make it one more time. So again, insert your hook, take one, turn over, insert your hook again, and now bring them through and one chain. Skip one, insert your hook, turn over, insert, and bring them through and chain one. And this is how we are going to continue for the rest of the row. Remember that we are going to skip one, and at the end, once we have the 4 loops together, we are going to make a chain to close. Don't forget to make the chain, okay? It's very important. I'm going to make one more with you so we can see exactly how it is. Also, when we insert our hook, it's important that we take both parts of the chain. So, well, I'm going to continue like this for the rest of the row. See you at the end, okay? Well, at the end of the row, to have the final stitch for the edge, we are going to make a half double crochet right here. You see? Okay, now we are going to turn, we are going to go up with 2 chains, and we are going to repeat the same. Now we are going to alternate the beans, okay? Instead of making over beans and beans over beans, we are going to make the beans inside the stitch that we escape, remember? So here we are going to insert our hook and we are going to repeat basically the same. Until we have 4 loops, we are going to bring them through and make a chain. So we are going to insert the hook in the space of the next bean and we are going to make the same. It is important you see where exactly you insert your hook because we have 2 spaces. You see, we are going to insert our hook in the bigger space, not in the other part, because it won't look the same. So it's important that we insert our hook in the bigger hole like this, right here. And well, also it's important that every time that we insert our hook, we take both parts of the chain, okay, and that we close the stitch, making a chain. To make the stitch to look even beautiful, I suggest that you make the stitch a little bit loose, okay? Try not to tie too much your hook. If you feel that you tied too much using this this hook, well, I suggest that you change the number of the hook, okay, that you use a bigger size, so you will see that you will have a better stitch and it will look even better. But well, we are going to continue like this for the rest of the row until the end. We are going to make a little pin. I'm right here in this space, and I'm going to make the last stitch for the final edge. Remember, we are going to make a half double crochet. And again, remember that this will be the stitch for the final edge, and don't forget to make it. Well, at the end we are going to turn, make 2 chains, and we are going to repeat the same. Remember, don't turn over right away. We are going to insert our hook without turning over, and then until we have 4 loops, we are going to bring them through and make a chain. It's important because it's a common that you yarn over every time you are going to insert your hook, because this is the way we made many of the stitches. But in this case, it's important that we don't yarn over. You see, I forget it. So pay attention, and once you repeat this sequence many times, you will see it's very easy. But I think it's very simple, no? And well, this is basically the sequence that we are going to continue until we get the rows that we need. In this case, I'm going to make a sample. Remember that before I start a project, I always suggest that you make a sample, because like this you will see how many stitches you will need, how many yarn, if you like how this yarn looks, even if you are using the hook that it's correct, and everything. So I always suggest to make this sample. So far it's looking so good, and you can make so many things with this stitch. But we'll see you at the end of the row. And well, remember, before we finish the row, it's important that we make the half double crochet at the end, so we can have a stretch edge, and we have a very good final details. But well, for now, let's continue with the next row and see you when I have more rows, so you can see how it looks. Well, for this sample I made 20 rows, and look at this. I love how it looks. And well, as you could see, we have a perfect edge, and at the end we are going to leave a little bit long thread. We are going to insert our hook, and at the end we are just going to pull. This step is very important, because imagine that at the end of all your work you cut your thread right here, and then with any move that you made you are going to lose your stitch, okay, and this will damage. So it's important that you don't cut your thread right away, that you leave a long thread, and then with your hook or even with your embroidery needle you are going to hide this thread through your project. And like this, I promise you that this stitch and your project will last forever. So this is how we are going to finish, and we are going to make the same with this thread that we use to start. At the end, if you want, you can make a simple stitch all around. You can make either the crab stitch or just a single crochet row, and this will look very good. I hope that you really use this stitch. Imagine combining different colors and mixing textures also. You will have a very nice project. As I told you at the beginning, you can make you can use this stitch with a more chunky material, making a blanket, and I'm sure that it will look so good. Please, if you make it, take a picture. I would love to see how it looks. But well, now uh, let's finish this video. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed making this stitch with me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watching this video and to let me teach you these stitches that are very simple but very useful. Okay, thank you so much and see you very soon in the coming videos, and please don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment. Thank you. Bye.